So we will start with the embryology of the thyroid gland first. You have been taught pharyngeal arches by any chance? You are aware of the pharyngeal arches? There are pharyngeal arches like this in the neck. Six pharyngeal arches are there in the neck. Okay? So neck is not smooth like this. Like some people have double chin. So we had 6 chins like this in our developing life. So if somebody has double chin, you should not feel bad. We had 6, now we only have 2. So this, in the upper part of the GI tract, these elevations are seen and they are called as pharyngeal arches. Then there are lingual swellings in these pharyngeal arches from which the tongue develops. There is tuberculum impar, and behind this tuberculum impar is a foramen called as foramen cecum. Previously you have heard of foramen cecum? Where? So this foramen cecum, from here the thyroid diverticulum goes down. So if you are looking from the side, if you are looking from another angle, from the front, from the foramen cecum, a diverticulum goes below, and that diverticulum is called as thyroid diverticulum. Okay? Okay? Thyroid diverticulum. And at the end of this diverticulum, the thyroid gland develops. Okay? This diverticulum which goes down is called as thyroglossal duct. Thyroglossal duct. Okay, so thyroid has a connection with the tongue. What are these? Lingual swellings, and then behind here is hypobronchial eminence. This whole thing is giving rise to tongue, the lingual swellings and hypobronchial eminence. And in between the foramen cecum and thyroid diverticulum is going down. That means from the middle of the tongue, the thyroid diverticulum goes, and this then gradually, this thyroglossal duct disappears. This thyroglossal duct disappears, and then sometimes it happens that it persists, and then there is a development of thyroglossal cyst. Thyroglossal cyst. So when the thyroglossal duct persists and there is a cyst at the end of it, so how do we? This cyst will be also there, surrounded by the pretracheal fascia. Thyroid swelling moves up and down. Thyroglossal cyst will also move up and down with deglutition. Understand this. How do we differentiate a thyroglossal cyst from a goiter? Thyroglossal cyst will move up and down with the movements of the tongue. You take the tongue out, the cyst will move up. Because it has come down from the developing tongue. Actually it was supposed to disappear, but it has persisted. So thyroglossal cyst moves up and down with the movement of the tongue. Okay? While the thyroid typical swelling moves up and down with deglutition, not with the movement of tongue. Thyroglossal cyst will also move up and down with deglutition, but it will also move up and down with movement of the tongue. Why? Because thyroid foramen cecum, from where the thyroglossal duct has gone down, is at the tongue. Okay? That's the part from where the tongue develops. So there are two things. One is thyroid cartilage and second is thyroid gland. Okay? Now thyroid cartilage is there like this. Okay? and there is a oblique line on the thyroid cartilage. We have discussed about this oblique line before, right? There is sternothyroid, which is attached here, and thyroid. Hyoid is here somewhere. Okay, there is, if they are connected to each other, thyroid membrane, right? So it is this oblique line of the thyroid cartilage which marks the upper end of the thyroid gland. Now what I am drawing is thyroid gland, which is also H-shaped. For studious students, you ask them what is the shape of the thyroid gland, they will say H-shaped. Nature knowledge student, they say it's butterfly shape. Okay, butterfly shape. So जो पढ़ाई करने वाले बच्चे उनको इधर भी H दिखाई देता है. Now see the extent. Now we are talking about the extent of the thyroid gland. It extends from the oblique line. Now there are two things in the thyroid gland. These are the lobes, and this is the isthmus. This is the isthmus. So the lobes extend from oblique line of thyroid cartilage to the fourth or fifth tracheal ring. The lobes, they extend from oblique line of thyroid cartilage to the fourth or fifth tracheal ring. Lobes. Isthmus lies against. Now actually मैंने इसको ड्रॉ करते समय I would still like to bring it down like this. Isthmus lies against the second and third tracheal ring. So lobe extends from the middle of the thyroid cartilage, that is the oblique line, to the fourth or fifth tracheal ring. Fourth and fifth tracheal ring. Isthmus lies against the second and third tracheal ring. Isthmus connects the left lobe and the right lobe. Everybody is with me? On thyroid, you are able to see from there? Thank you. So now let us discuss the parts of the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland, the parts are as follows. There is a right lobe, there is a left lobe, and there is a isthmus connecting both of them. Okay? Now, in cut section, in a transverse section, the lobes go like this. Okay? So this is the left lobe, this is the right lobe. And then there is trachea, there is esophagus. Now if you see the surfaces of the lobes have an anterolateral surface, a medial surface, rather you can say lateral surface, medial surface, and posterior lateral surface. Medial surface, lateral surface, and posterior lateral surface. Three surfaces of the lobes. What are they? Medial, lateral, and posterior. While the isthmus will have anterior surface and posterior surface. Isthmus will have superior border and inferior border. Superior border and inferior border. So what are the four parts of the isthmus? Anterior surface, posterior surface, superior border and inferior border. Now the lobes also have an anterior border and a posterior border. Lobes also have anterior border and posterior border. So lobes will have two borders, anterior border, posterior border, three surfaces. Because what happens is this is posterior border. Okay. Now, because it is round here like this, so therefore there is a posterior lateral surface also. There are blood vessels supplying the thyroid gland. And one we have already heard of, superior thyroid artery, the anterior most branch of external thyroid. This superior thyroid artery comes like this and then divides into an anterior branch of superior thyroid, anterior branch of superior thyroid and posterior branch and posterior branch. While the inferior thyroid artery comes like this, inferior thyroid artery and goes like this. Inferior thyroid artery, branch of thyrocervical trunk, inferior thyroid artery, branch of thyrocervical trunk, which is a branch of subclavian. Okay? So, along the posterior border, there is anastomosis between inferior thyroid artery and posterior branch of superior thyroid artery. Okay? Is that clear? Then there are veins, superior thyroid vein, inferior thyroid vein, middle thyroid vein. So, now let us talk about the relations. Okay. Before that, one more diagram you need to understand, and that is in the side view. Okay? The side view of the thyroid cartilage I am drawing. Thyroid cartilage, the side view is like this. This is the oblique line. So which muscle is attached here? Sternothyroid. Also arising from the oblique line is one muscle called as inferior constrictor muscle, and that is called as thyropharyngeus muscle. Also, so from the oblique line there are two muscles. Insertion of sternothyroid and origin of thyropharyngeus muscle. Here there is one more muscle, what is cricothyroid, running from cricoid to thyroid. Cricothyroid. Okay. Now, what is this artery? Superior thyroid. Far away from the gland, it is related to external laryngeal nerve. It is related to external laryngeal nerve. While inferior thyroid artery, here somewhere here is recurrent laryngeal nerve. It is related to recurrent laryngeal nerve near the gland. This concept is going to be asked to you till your surgery. If you are doing surgery, still you will ask you that where to ligate the superior thyroid artery and where to ligate the inferior thyroid artery. Superior thyroid artery is in close connection with external laryngeal nerve away from the gland, therefore it is ligated near the gland. Superior thyroid artery is ligated near the gland. Inferior thyroid artery is in close connection with the recurrent laryngeal nerve near the gland, so it is ligated away from the gland. inferior away and superior thyroid artery near the gland. ये आपको याद रखना ही है। अगर आप एनाटॉमी भूल गए, जैसे कि आज बहुत सारे लोग एब्सेंट हैं, तो then you may ligate the external laryngeal nerve here. This external laryngeal nerve supplies this cricothyroid muscle. This cricothyroid muscle is responsible for pitch of the voice. Pitch means the high pitched song. And one singer, she was operated for thyroid. Those doctors were one of those who bunks the lectures. He ligated the external laryngeal nerve, superior thyroid artery, not near but away. Along with that, ligated the external laryngeal nerve, and that singer could not sing again. Very famous singer, of course, Western singers. So she could not sing again in her life because she lost the pitch of her voice. Cricothyroid, which is supplied by the external laryngeal nerve, is responsible. Okay, so external laryngeal nerve is here. So now let's start writing the relations of the thyroid. Firstly, the thyroid is covered by a true and a false capsule. Okay, so this is true capsule and then this is false capsule. And there is a plexus below the true capsule. There is a plexus below the true capsule. While in case of prostate, what is the difference? This is false capsule. This is true capsule, false capsule, and true capsule. In case of prostate, this plexus lies between the true and false capsule. So this concept also is asked in the exam. So how do they remove the prostate? They enucleate the prostate without touching the capsules. Because if you try to remove the true capsule, there will be severe bleeding. So prostate, both the capsules are left behind and prostate is removed. But thyroid is removed along with the true capsule. There is a plexus of blood vessels below the true capsule in thyroid gland. So thyroid is removed with true capsule. This plexus lies between the true and false capsule in case of prostate. So prostate is removed, leaving both the capsules there, because if you try to remove the capsules, there is bleeding. Okay? Now let's start with the relations. Here there are muscles. Here there are muscles. Omohyoid and sternothyroid. Omohyoid and sternothyroid. Covering them is sternocleidomastoid. Sternocleidomastoid. This is omohyoid. This is sternothyroid. Omohyoid, sternothyroid. So what is the relation of the, now you start writing the relations of the different parts of the lobes. Let's start with the border. चलो आप बोलो, anterior border related to anterior division of superior thyroid artery. Right? Anterior division of superior thyroid artery. Posterior border related to posterior border related to anastomosis between posterior division of superior thyroid and inferior thyroid. Clear? Anterior border related to anterior division of superior thyroid, posterior border related to posterior division of superior thyroid and inferior thyroid artery, they are anastomosis. Clear? Now there are three surfaces. Lobes, we discussed the anterior border of lobe and posterior border. There are three surfaces. What are the three surfaces of the lobes? What are the three surfaces? Lateral surface, medial surface, posterior lateral surface. Posterior lateral surface is related to carotid sheath. Carotid sheath has three contents: internal jugular vein, common carotid artery, and vagus. Okay? So posterior lateral surface, relations clear, carotid sheath. Anterior lateral surface, relations, sternothyroid, omohyoid, sternocleidomastoid. These are the relation of the lateral surface. Lateral surface. Some call it anterolateral, but lateral surface. Clear? Relations of the medial surface. Now इसमें ना थोड़ा सा complication है. Just listen. They say the medial surface is related to two tubes, two muscles, two nerves. Two tubes. What are they? Trachea and esophagus. Two muscles. Thyropharyngeus, that is the inferior constrictor, and cricothyroid. What are the two muscles? Thyropharyngeus and cricothyroid. Supplying this cricothyroid comes the external laryngeal nerve. So when we say two nerves, those two nerves are external laryngeal nerve which supplies the cricothyroid and recurrent laryngeal nerve, thorax. What lies between the trachea and esophagus? Recurrent laryngeal nerve. याद आ रहा है? आपको मैंने वो स्टोरी सुना है ना, वो मेरे नैना सावन भादो सुना है आपको? ऐसे करें राजेश खन्ना का सॉन्ग, राजेश खन्ना का एक मूवी है मेरे नैना सावन भादो, उसमें सॉन्ग है, आपने सुना है वो सॉन्ग? तो राजेश खन्ना इज लॉस्ट and then he reaches some village in Rajasthan जिसमें उसको एक महल दिखता है. वो महल के अंदर जब उसको सब कहते हैं ये स्टोरी पता है ना मैंने? हाँ. तो उसमें कौन रहती है हीरोइन वो गाँव में? हेमा मालिनी. राजेश खन्ना को सब पिछले जन्म का याद आ रहा है. मैं इधर बैठ के गाता था तू नाच निकला हेमा मालिनी. ऐसे आपने मेरे को अभी हेमा मालिनी लुक दिया. रिकरेंट लाइफ बिटवीन ट्रैकिया एंड इसोफेगस thorax में पढ़ना. So two nerves. What are those two nerves? External laryngeal nerve and what are the two tubes? Medial surface of the lobes, trachea and esophagus. What are the two muscles? Thyropharyngeus and okay. So now we are done with medial surface, lateral surface, posterior lateral surface of the lobes. Now we are talking about isthmus. Isthmus has superior border, inferior border, anterior surface, posterior surface. Okay? Anterior surface will be again related to sternocleidomastoid, sternothyroid, anterior jugular vein. These muscles only, right? They will be going like this. Posterior surface of the isthmus related to trachea. Second and third tracheal ring. Superior border related to anastomosis between anterior branches of the superior thyroid artery. ये साइड का anterior, वो साइड का anterior. This arrangement is there so that one side it is blocked, blood can go to other side. Okay. The inferior border is related to inferior thyroid vein, which leaves from the inferior border of the isthmus. That means there is superior thyroid vein, middle thyroid vein also. Inferior thyroid vein leaves from the lower border of isthmus. Okay? So that is all about the relations of the thyroid gland. Okay? Now can we describe the morphology of the thyroid gland? Thyroid gland has two lobes connected to each other by isthmus. Each lobe has three surfaces. What are the three surfaces? Lateral, medial, posterior lateral. Isthmus. And how many borders for the lobes? Anterior border and posterior border. Isthmus has superior border and inferior border, anterior surface and posterior surface. Isthmus superior border related to anastomosis between the anterior divisions of superior thyroid artery. Lower border the inferior thyroid vein leaves. Anterior surface is related to sternocleidomastoid, sternothyroid, anterior tubular vein. Posterior surface is related to the second and the third tracheal vein. Okay. Lobes have anterior border and posterior border. Anterior border is related to anterior division of superior thyroid artery. Posterior border is related to anastomosis between the posterior border division of superior thyroid and inferior thyroid. Also something related to the posterior border is parathyroid glands. They are attached there. Parathyroid glands. Okay. Then the lobes have three surfaces. Lateral surface is related to sternothyroid, omohyoid, sternocleidomastoid. Posterior lateral surface of the lobe is related to carotid sheath. Medial surface, two tubes, two nerves, two muscles. What are the two tubes? Tracheal esophagus. What are the two nerves? Internal laryngeal and external laryngeal. What are the two muscles? Hypothyroid and okay. So after that it's nothing. Blood supplies by the superior thyroid artery, branch of external carotid, inferior thyroid artery, branch of the thyrocervical trunk, branch of the subclavian. Venous drainage is by superior, middle and inferior thyroid veins. Lymphatic drainage is into the deep cervical lymph nodes. Lymphatic drainage is into the deep cervical lymph nodes. In the initial part, you can write the extent of the thyroid is somewhere from the level of C4 level, okay, and goes up to T1. Histology बोलो thyroid. थायराइड का एक किधर ना किधर क्वेश्चन आता ही है. यूनिवर्सिटी प्रीलिम्स और दिस सैटरडेज एग्जाम if you are going to appear. Okay. Histology, there are follicles and in between the follicles is colloid. Inside this colloid is this T3, T4. Lot of blood vessels Now most important thing, this is lined by cuboidal epithelium. This is the example of cuboidal epithelium, thyroid follicles. They become columnar when it becomes active. Cuboidal epithelium. And then there are cells. What are the other cells present? Parafollicular cells. They secrete calcium. They secrete calcium. Thyroid gland is one of the most vascular structures in the body, but it's an endocrine gland. Thyroid gland is the only gland which is dependent upon an external factor for production of hormone, and that is iodine. No other gland depends like this on an external factor. It is dependent on iodine. So those people who live in hilly areas where there is less iodine, they can. What happens is no iodine. No. Now you may be going to some hilly area for your vacation. Okay? But then this thyroid gland has enough iodine stored which is sufficient for 3 months. तो ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेने का कि अरे मैं कश्मीर जा रहा हूँ, मैं हिमालय में जा रहा हूँ. No. 3 months it can sustain. After 3 months there is no iodine in the diet also. And nowadays there is iodized salt. So then what happens is body realizes thyroid is not secreting. So it keeps on stimulating the gland, keeps on, that leads to. So now writing the applied anatomy of the our 5 points in which we write. First is congenital anomalies. So congenital anomalies you can write. Understand this, thyroid gland, foramen cecum, from here it descends and this forms thyroid gland. And what is this duct called as? Thyroplacental. So in congenital anomalies, thyroid may not descend. Lingual thyroid. Because it starts from the tongue, the thyroplacental. Lingual thyroid. It can be at any level. It can be at any level. The thyroid, we said, had 2 lobes. We said the thyroid has 2 lobes, right lobe, left lobe. But sometimes there is additional lobe in between called as pyramidal lobe, which is connected to the hyoid by levator glanduli thyroid by a band called as levator glanduli thyroid. Pyramidal loop. Sometimes, apart from superior thyroid artery and inferior thyroid artery, there may be an additional thyroid artery which is called as thyroidema. Thyroidema artery. It arises from brachiocephalic trunk or arch of aorta directly. The lowest thyroid, thyroidema artery. It is present in many subjects. आप बोलेंगे सर ये काय को हमारे दिमाग में थोड़े सब्जेक्ट्स में होता है, but that थोड़ा सब्जेक्ट may come for operation of thyroidectomy and if you fail to ligate it और सीधा thyroid आपने निकाल दिया and this is coming from the aorta. Can you imagine amount of bleeding these people who are going to cause because ये सारे vacant belches पे है. What is that artery? Thyroidema artery coming from the aorta. Okay. So we have to remember about that also. So thyroid may be present at many locations. Thyroid cyst I have already spoken about. It moves with the movement of the tongue. In Investigations of the thyroid, of course, we do the examination of the thyroid by the hands. Normally not palpable, but it can get done. USG also is done many times. PET scan for cancer. T3, T4 levels. T3, T4 levels. And that's what we now come to medical problems. Hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism, they are so easily missed in the society. मेरे को आजकल ना मन ही नहीं करता है सुबह उठ के लेक्चर पे जाने के लिए। जो सब लोग हैं कुछ नहीं करने गए हैं, they may be hypothyroid, sluggish. Hypothyroidism easily missed. उनको they don't realize कि बाकी सब लोग 8 बजे पहुंच रहे हैं, मेरे को ही काहे को बेड से उठने को घंटा ला रहे हैं। They may be hypothyroid. Okay, hyperthyroid, a person suddenly starts losing weight. Okay, it becomes really. Some hyperthyroidism people start getting palpitations. मतलब सामने कोई नहीं है फिर भी palpitation हो रहा है। तो people start getting sweating and palpitation. तो क्या फर्स्ट आदमी को क्या लगता है sweating and palpitation मतलब हार्ट अटैक, और वो चेस्ट पेन ही नहीं हो रहा। ओके, so such people, people do their ECG, this, that, and then end up understanding that this is just hyperthyroidism. Okay. Some people abuse thyroid hormone because it is highly good for this weight loss. People take atoxin tablets to become lean and thin, which is not advisable. Okay. Surgical thyroidectomy, removal of thyroid. Goiter, first thing goiter. Now why does the goiter hang down and not go up? आपने को कैंसर देखा है goiter वाला ऐसा हो गया नहीं, hang down because of the sternothyroid muscle which gets attached to the oblique line. We have discussed this. Okay, this is the thyroid cartilage. There is oblique line. Here is the uppermost end of the lobe of the thyroid, and sternothyroid is getting attached here. Sternothyroid is getting attached here. So, because of that attachment, thyroid cannot go up. Therefore, the goiter hangs down. Okay, therefore the goiter hangs down and does not go up. That is an arrangement of nature and God, so that otherwise कैसा होता था सब लोग, ये ऐसा हो रहा है, आदमी ऐसा चलेगा, hangs down in the neck. Thyroidectomy, removal of the goiter. That time you have to keep a small strip on the posterior border because there are parathyroid glands. A small strip on the posterior border has to be preserved because there are parathyroid glands which secrete parathormone, which is necessary for calcium metabolism. Okay, so that's about the thyroidic mating surgery, thyroidectomy. Total, partial, most of the time partial is done. A small strip of thyroid tissue is there to prevent myxedema, to prevent hypothyroidism. Okay. And lastly, cancers of the thyroid gland, very common. So that's all about the thyroid gland. Thank you.